So usually we do a beer crack, so I'm just doing. But we're here
Like
clearly.
what's that Every Time I Die song? I think
Which-
the New Black. You hear like the beer crack.
Oh yes, that's how every
Baby,
yes.
You got me all wrong.
That's how we used to say
baby.
that. We did an Every Time I Die cover set a couple years
No
back.
way.
And we recreated their giant 8-foot eye and everything.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It was so dumb.
I love that. I'm a big fan of Every Time I Die. They're great.
Who isn't?
Yeah,
Especially around here.
Super sad they broke up.
So first day of tour, man,
Yeah.
and you're sick.
Yeah. Apparently, I woke up like a week ago. I was visiting my parents. I was at my parents' house. I woke up, and I was gonna like go take the dog for a walk around the river with my dad. And I put some clothes on, and I just walked over to my dad's truck, and I was like spinning, and I'm like, hey, I gotta lay down. And so I pretty quickly figured out that it was a bacterial infection because I was
Really?
coughing up like chunks of like brown with
yep.
some blood in it. So I was like, okay, so I got azithromycin.
Yeah.
And I finished it 2 days ago, and I'm like still feeling the same.
Dang.
So I just went to an urgent care, and they did a chest X-ray, and they're like, oh, you got like a bunch of shit in your like pneumonia, like shit in your lungs.
Yeah.
So never had that before, at least that I know of.
Oh, you've never had pneumonia before?
Yeah, I
Wow.
never have had it, but it's honestly like, I don't know. I feel I'm ready to play tonight. You know,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if like a few shows down the line,
Right,
I'm like,
right.
really feeling
That
it.
breathe,
you know,
that heavy breath.
after like pushing myself.
Right. Do you
but
smoke?
I don't.
Don't smoke. Yeah,
Don't
you're probably
smoke.
good, man.
Yeah. I just just gonna push through. She gave me a bunch of
Like a Z-Pack or
prescriptions.
something.
So I took the Z-Pack. That didn't work. So she gave me like a heavy duty one now, like a nuclear bomb
For the lungs.
antibiotic. I'm probably gonna be
You're gonna be
pooping
coughing
green
up
for
and-
like
yeah.
5 days. You know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, now it should be good. Yeah.
And are you from California?
Yeah.
And-
Except I moved to Nashville earlier this
right.
year. Yeah.
How is it?
I really like it a lot, honestly. I've always kind of liked the South. I like the humidity, actually.
I was going to say that's probably what gave you the pneummonia. You're used to that dry
yeah, right.
California
Honestly,
weather. It might probably
it totally could have.
Right.
It's funny you mentioned that because there is these allergies that I get in Nashville that I never got.
Oh, dude.
Someone told me to drink honey from local bees.
Yes.
I heard that like the pollen will like help your immune system. Like,
Yeah, it's
perk up.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Hot green tea with local. You have to get local honey, and you have to make sure it doesn't have sugar in it.
Oh, okay.
Because some honey makers add sugar for some weird reason.
But you just want raw
Just
honey.
raw honey.
I gotta do that.
And it makes your throat feel like. Because I used to sing in a band too, and that was like my ritual. We have a North Little Rock honey plant, and just that and hot green tea before every show, and
That
just
sounds good.
amazing. And I smoke like way too much, so it helped me a tremendous amount.
I gotta try that.
So I was just listening to you talk. Y'all formed in 2009, and that was all.
Oh yeah. The band started
Yeah.
in 2009, and I was telling him, he was asking about if we played Little Rock. The first time we played a coffee shop in Little Rock on December of 2015. We were on
Okay.
our way to New Jersey to record our second album, and then the second time we came through was with August Burns Red era.
Love that.
Make Them Suffer.
Was that at
and
Juanita's or
That was at
the Village, maybe?
it was like a big, huge venue. Like, I don't think it was sold out because it could have fit well over 1,000 people. It was like a radio station.
Oh,
Like,
the Metroplex.
Yeah, that was at the Metroplex.
Yep.
It was one of those. I love the venues that are huge because before people come in, and the floors are like smooth, like warehouse floors.
Yeah.
I get my skateboard, and I like you can like kind of slide your wheels and stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
That's a lumber yard now.
Is it? It's a
gone.
lumber yard
It's
now.
a lumber yard. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big venue.
It was massive.
It was
They,
huge,
like
yeah.
Deftones played there. I mean,
Yo,
big.
we were playing there, and I'm like, it takes a big venue for ABR to like not sell it out, and
Right.
it was huge, yeah.
Yeah, I got to work with them many years ago. They came and played the Village.
Cool,
They're
cool.
great fun.
Yeah, they're great. They're cool people. We did another tour with them in 2019 for their 10-year anniversary of Constellations, and they're great, fun to tour with, and I think we might be playing a show with them later this year, but I don't. That might be. I don't know. If I'm supposed to talk about that. But they're great. They're a cool band.
Yeah, right. So like, I got like So you started in '09.
Mm-hmm.
Were y'all just like right off the bat just road dogging it, just doing like the typical like hop in a van?
The
play
road
as-
dogging started in like 2012.
Okay.
Because
Did
I
y'all
was
get
in, like,
signed first, or was it like pre
No,
that?
yeah, we road dogged it for a couple of years before we got signed. I think we got signed in the summer of 2014. And everyone that's in the band now has been in the band since then, since 2014. Like in '09, it was me and a bunch of guys that haven't been in the band for like a decade.
Right.
Kind of typical like local band. Like you play a show, then someone's like, "Hey, like I got a girlfriend, I got a piece," you know, or like one guy went to jail. One guy got married. A couple guys got like good
doesn't
sales
end.
jobs.
Yeah.
Like like stuff happens.
Sorry, I can't go on the road. I'm making actual money.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and it took a while to find the guys that were willing to like
It's tough.
to grind.
Yeah.
To basically commit your life to something that's paying you $0.
Yeah.
And we made $0 until I remember the first time we got paid out from a tour. It was like after like a 2015 For Today tour, and each guy got like $600, and it was like 5-week tour. But we were like, oh my god! Looking back, it's like that's not great. Like you're making like
weeks,
$125 a week.
Break that down to the hour.
Yeah,
it's like,
hourly,
oh my god, you're making 8 cents an hour.
Yeah, it's like insane. But we loved it, and thankfully we were able to get it now to where it's a moderate wage,
right.
But like I mean, most of my friends make more than me still probably,
Sure.
but I don't know if they enjoy their job as much as I do.
I don't know how they could.
and I love doing this. I love
Absolutely.
the conversations like this, the meeting people at shows. Someone brought us barbecue, especially dude, Arkansas is special. Like,
it is.
People
Thank you.
people really like. There's hospitality here.
I have a lot
really,
of love
like,
for this
give
place.
a shit about the music scene here, and you can feel it. It's special. It's something worth protecting.
It's like a hidden little paradise.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I love it.
I do too, very much. I'm a huge proponent of this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, every time we've played, it's been cool. I think the 2015 show that we played at the coffee shop was a similar feeling to this.
Right.
Because obviously with ABR, that's a bigger event.
Oh,
People are
yeah,
driving
for
from
sure.
out of state.
Yeah.
That's more of just kind of another day on tour.
You're just kind of there. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like it's it's
Yeah,
already going to be a blowout.
Yeah. But when you do these one-offs, and it's a more local level, you get to really see the true colors, and it's really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have a crazy local scene. Like locals here almost do just as good as, if not better than most like the touring.
Oh,
acts that
I
come
can
through.
believe
It's
it. Like
insane.
the opening band, Tiny Town.
Yep.
Like
they're unreal, dude. You're gonna love them.
And the hype, just like we announced the shows, and it's just like. So many people were like, "Yo, Silent Planet is playing a Tiny Town show."
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm here for that. I love that energy. Like, I don't need to be the headliner. Like, make these guys. Like, I love it. It's awesome. Like, if half the room walks out after Tiny Towns, I won't be mad. I'm like, hey, whatever.
No,
like,
they definitely won't.
I'm just happy to be here. I just found out we're playing at like 10:30 or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like. I'm in my 30s. Like, I might want to go home and go to bed if I was, go to the show. I'll probably.
How old are you?
32.
32?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
32.
not too bad.
Started the band, I was 19, so
Dang.
Been at it for a while.
That's a long while, man.
Yeah.
Same band?
Yeah, same band.
Kudos
it's
to
kind of
that.
the only band I ever had, honestly.
Really?
Kind of before Silent Planet, it was like a jam band called Panopticon, which we kind of ran with on our most recent album. I decided to like make a song about it because I wanted to bring it back. Because the Panopticon's always been like a intellectual obsession.
Did you
for
start
me,
as
I
a
guess.
vocalist the whole
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. Dude, I can play like 5 chords on the guitar.
Okay.
I'm a pathetic instrumentalist.
Because some bands form by, okay, well, we have 4,000 guitar players. We need people to do this.
Yeah.
And one guitarist is like, all right, I'll do it.
Get this, the guitar player of Panopticon, which kind of turned into Silent Planet, his dad was Sting the pro wrestler.
What?
And yeah, Steve Borden. And he bought us all of our equipment.
That's amazing.
So in a way, you could say Silent Planet's first like benefactor
was Sting.
And he's a really cool guy. He does owe me money because he took
Sting owes me money.
He took us. I mean, not really. I probably owe him, but we took us bowling, and I was like goofing off. Like I was terrible, and him and his kids were like a family of like competitive football players, so they were like, "Yo, you got to try. You got to do something. You got to try." And so he was like, "I'll give you like $100 if you can get 2 strikes in a row," and I did. and I don't
Never
think
got
I
the
ever got
100.
that money from him. But to be honest, he as it was, he had taken us bowling, so it's all good. I was lucky. Don't
What
get me
an
wrong.
amazing-
Like I'm not good at bowling, but I better than when I was doing my between the legs.
Right,
nonsense.
right.
Yeah.
You get a lot of free time on tour. Are you an adventurer, or are you like a stay in the bus,
Dude,
read
I'm
iBooks?
an adventurer
Are
for
you?
sure.
Me too.
I think my bandmates will tell you to a fault. It's like, where's Garrett? Because I'm usually I like to walk.
Yes.
I'm a very hyperactive person, and I get really it helps me to regulate my mood if I get to run around.
You get bored instantly.
Exactly.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So I like to walk around towns as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I kind of figured, I was like, I bet he's a wanderer. He just comes off as a type.
Yeah, I like to just kind of be a fly on the wall. I like to kind of
People watch and just see a new thing.
I love a local restaurant. I was just
Yes.
before I went to the urgent care, I went to this restaurant near it that was like a train.
Oh,
place.
on the
Do you know what I'm
board?
talking about?
Overboard?
Yeah.
On the board? What is it?
All aboard.
All
I
aboard.
think.
That's it.
And
The train brings you the food.
the train brings you the food.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting here waiting for the food. I was on my phone, and the server's like, "Your food's here." I was like, "Where?" And I look up.
Comes
and a
down.
train,
Yeah.
It's it was the funniest thing, but it's cool because it's obviously food's so expensive these days, but it's cool to know that your money's going to a local establishment.
Right.
And it's just cool to try to eat somewhere local, walk around the town.
I mean, you're sitting in one of the
Go to a
best
park.
pizza joints in the whole city, man.
Dude, and it's funny because two things because of having pneumonia right now. One, I might not eat the pizza even though I
Right,
want to, just
right.
because I'm the dairy, the pneumonia. That might be a
Cheese
bad
on the vocal
mix.
cords is also pretty bad.
Yeah, right.
the enzymes.
And then it's the other thing is I haven't really been able to walk around because I get winded right now
Right.
just standing up with this
Oh, man.
pneumonia nonsense. But yeah,
Dude, pneumonia sucks. I've had it 1,000 times. It's the worst.
Dude, really?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So you're susceptible to
Well,
it?
I've been smoking since I was 8.
Oh, since you're 8?
Yeah.
Bro.
I grew up in a small town.
Hold on, since you were 8?
Yeah, so you know.
Were you hooked as a kid?
Oh yeah. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
I used to steal them. Well, my parents smoked, and then it was in the 80s. I'm 38.
Okay.
So
that does make more sense.
you're watching your parents
the
smoke,
80s
and you're like,
and the 90s were different.
and I lived in such a small town. I could walk to the gas station. I don't know what it's like in California, but they would just sell them to you
oh,
here.
bro, you got to be 21 now in California.
Oh, that's crazy. No,
Yeah.
no. Literally,
Yeah,
when I was a kid, you could be a child, be like, "Mom sent me for smokes," and they would just go, "Here you go."
No way.
Yeah.
No, yeah. In 2016, it was on the ballot during I think the election, and you have to be 21 now to smoke.
I think that's probably okay.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean it's not the worst thing. It's because
It's
it's
not.
But so you've been smoking since you were 8?
8.
That's
It's bad.
wild.
Yeah.
Well, bless you. I hope that that doesn't turn bad.
I quit for 7 years, and
Oh,
then
cool.
life just got in the way. I think this thing is falling. Hold on. And then life just gets in the way,
Yeah.
And it's I just started for some dumb reason, and I was doing really good. 7 years is a long time to not have a cigarette in your body.
right.
But it is one of those addictions where it's dude, it's just there. 7
Yeah.
years later, and
Oh,
I picked
it's
it up
in your
I never
blood.
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. It's I can't be even mad at myself. It's you go, "Oh, you have lung cancer." Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
I mean, I feel that. I mean, I guess we are all, products of our
Right.
of our
Environments.
generation, our
Yeah.
environment, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And it was just an innocent thing. I just copied what my parents were doing. And
Totally.
what's wild is both my parents now don't smoke. So it's but my dad actually recently died from lung cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Yeah.
that.
It was tough, but it is what it is. It was we can segue into that one. Have you avoided the COVID stuff at all?
Actually, I had COVID 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was 6 weeks ago I got it.
Dang, COVID,
And
then
it's
pneumonia?
funny. So the first, well, it's funny. The first time I got COVID, we were on tour when the pandemic started.
When it all was
And
kind of
we
questionable.
we played 21, 22 of our 28 shows.
Yeah.
And then we were on the way home. The last show we played was Springfield, Missouri. And,
Probably in March. The
yeah.
tour got canceled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And man, we all got COVID because even though we'd canceled the last shows, we still probably played a show when COVID was present.
for sure.
We didn't know it, but we probably had an event where there was
Yeah.
COVID going around, and so we all got COVID, and it didn't do anything to me. So I was like, oh, cool, COVID doesn't affect me. Then I got vaccinated too, but 6 weeks ago I got it, and it put me on my
Wrecked
ass.
you?
Like for 2 days, the worst body aches and chills
I think
I've
that
ever
one,
experienced
that new
in my
one that's
life.
going around, everybody I know that's getting the new one,
They're
they're
getting body aches
that,
and chills.
yeah,
Same. Yep. And I think that's what it was,
Just
and
that new
that
variant.
screwed me up. And so when I woke up a week ago, super sick, I was like, maybe it's COVID again.
Oh,
But then like the brown stuff came up. I'm like,
yeah,
this is different.
This is different.
So I figured it was an infection, and just for some reason my stupid
Yeah.
antibiotics didn't work. So I go over to the urgent care today. They chest X-ray. They're like, you got stuff in your lungs, and she was like, here's like the mother of all antibiotics.
That's awesome.
But I'm kind of nervous about it because I know that my stomach is just because your stomach is nothing but good bacteria.
Right.
So I know my stomach's about to get nuked.
Wrecked. Yeah.
But I asked the lady, I'm like, do I have to? And she was like, yeah, if you want to not have pneumonia, you have to take this.
Like it's not gonna
basically.
just go away.
It's just not going to go
like
away.
a guy thing, right?
And
You're
I'm
just like it'll
well,
fix itself.
shoot,
Yeah.
I'm just starting this tour today. Luckily, it's only a 2-week tour, so even if I just like have to cry my way through the set, I feel okay now. But we'll see how I feel in a week or something,
or even just a few hours from now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like on stage, just like passing out. But honestly, dude, the energy here's so good. It's gonna be so much fun.
And it's sold
man.
out.
Dude, I'm so thankful,
How sick.
man. It's cool too, cause like we're not like a big band. We're not a band that can go to any city in America right now and sell it out. We're not like a knocked loose kind of phenomenon.
Right.
Like we are a band that has grinded for years and years, and I think we've grown a fan base. But like, there will be nights of this tour where we'll just have 100 people come out.
Sure.
Then like we'll play a Nashville show. We'll probably sell get 400 people in there. But like we're at the level that like it's impossible to take things for granted.
Right.
Because we are still like grinding. Like we're like every head counts for a band our size.
Oh, right.
And I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with the fact that we've always kind of been taking like this weird road. We've never been
Y'all have had a different kind of journey.
Yeah, it's a different journey because
Yeah.
I think part of it too is like we don't really belong in a scene super well.
Right.
Like we get lumped in with metalcore.
You suffer.
Or whatever.
I actually have a term for it. You suffer from the acidity's burn effect.
That's the burn effect. Yeah,
Yes.
that is so funny. I was talking to someone about that the other day. As Cities Burn's a really good example of that. Where like
there's no genre for them,
You don't really when you don't fit because like if you're like a hardcore band, you have a hardcore scene and like that's where you belong. If you're a deathcore band, you're with the that kind of stuff. And then like metalcore bands even there's kind of a more traditional metalcore thing, and then we're just a bit off the beaten path from it. And I wouldn't say, of course, I don't think we're as cool as Cities Burn, but I do think as far as like if you look at our catalog, you're gonna find a lot of stuff that doesn't really fit within a scene,
Right.
And
it's the nuances that take you out of the scene and put you in a different thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because what happens with bands like that, like the Cities Burn effect, is like when we come out with an album, we'll sell a lot of vinyl because there's a lot of people that like believe in our records or whatever. But when you look at the streaming numbers, like we have bands that support us on tours that have tripled our streaming numbers.
Yeah, it's wild,
because
right?
we're not a band that really like, like Spotify music isn't like extreme metal workout, throw it on,
Exactly.
Because it's like it works, and then there's this like 20-second ambient section that kills the workout vibe. You know what I mean? And we don't do it to kill the workout vibe, but we do it because we think that's what the music needs to be.
Sure.
But with that comes a sense of like, okay, this isn't as commercializable, I guess you could say.
I totally get it. We do the same thing in my band. You'll see. We're playing tonight too, so
I'm excited. What time are you playing?
We're right before the Spirit Breaker.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We'll just be going. No, my hands to war.
Mine's okay.
We'll just be going, 200 BPM, jazz.
Oh shit!
Like literally just cruising along and then just straight into nothing for no reason at all.
I'm here for that.
I love
That's gonna
that
be
stuff.
fun. Yeah.
I've always been a fan of different.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Hardcore fan of like, even if it's like the most metalist breakdown thing you've ever heard, and then right after that, it's just like that clean, just beautiful. It's like are you? I'm sure you are, but Haste the Day.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Well, there's like that song. It's like da-da-da-dun, da-da-da, and then there's a 1 bar break of da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-dun.
Oh, is that Blue 42, the old one? Yeah.
It's just like
Bro, they had a song
stuff like that.
on their last album, White as Snow, that was like a Deftones song pretty much, and that song was You talk about bands doing the Deftones thing well. They did it so well.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, what an amazing band, dude. But I love that. I like music that takes you on a journey.
Same.
The band Callous Cowboys came out with the new album yesterday.
We just got done playing with them, and I think we're playing with them again sometime soon. Yeah, I love the Cowboys.
Talk about music that like does not play by the rules. Like
right. Oh, dude,
it's insane.
They have no rules.
No, and it's and there's something to be said about a band that does it well, and they do that really well.
I mean, they've played here quite a few times. They come through here quite a bit, and like they've played house shows and venues, like, and it's just and they can pull it off in any format.
Sick. Anytime we've ever headlined the last few years, you know, in like Georgia, Atlanta, I'm like always like, got to get the Callous Cowboys on. Actually, that was like one of the very last shows before the pandemic. We they were on they played we had a tour and they hopped on a show. It was so fun.
Now, being in y'all's like level, like, you know, you're not like in the Under Oath world, and you're not like where we are in the local band world. You're somewhere like
kinda
right in that middle. You're like at the in between level. So in this podcast, I kind of like to deep dive and get some knowledge.
Yeah,
I'm all about
of course.
So when the pandemic hits, for guys like me, it's nothing. Because I have a job, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, you weren't like relying on the band
like
for a living.
You know, and we ended up doing our own version of a live stream. We did it here actually. Like they closed out the venue,
cool,
and we were allowed to like take over the space.
That's awesome.
It was very fun. But like when it happens to somebody in y'all's position, where now, pre-pandemic, it was your job.
Yeah.
I mean, the terrifyingness of that, because we all at the beginning, I don't know if y'all were the same. We were like, hey, you know, a couple weeks, and everything will get back to normal. Like everybody was thinking that.
I remember we were scheduling like a summer 2020 tour.
Right.
Like we got home and we like had a tour set up of like us. Actually, we were trying to get Spirit Box on it, like because this is before Spirit Box like became a mega band.
Yes.
And we were trying to get like Spirit Box, Callous Cowboys, and Kublai Khan.
Holy shit!
And that's what we were working on. And then I don't know if Spirit Box was going to be able to do it anyways, though. But Kublai Khan and Callous Cowboys were on it for sure.
That would have been amazing.
And then it was then that whole thing got nixed. And it's
another thing the pandemic took from us.
We still never toured with Callous Cowboys. We actually hit them up about doing this run because this run's happening largely because we had a North Lane tour get canceled.
Yeah.
And then we were already doing Blue Ridge Fest. And I just asked our agent like any shows we can get
tour to it
to do it. And so we're doing like a little weird loop to go to Blue Ridge, but. We tried to get Callous Cowboys on it, but they were already they're pretty much booked out for a while now. Yeah,
but like,
which I'm really happy for them because now like bands are sending them tour offers. And stuff.
Absolutely. I think they're trying to push a tour right now, actually, or about to announce one. Okay, good for them. They deserve it.
They do.
They are workhorses. That band. Thursday. Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, it literally just came out.
Wasn't it yesterday?
Technically, yeah, that Thursday, Friday.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Thursday.
In
for
Europe,
the West Coast,
right, or
Thursday,
whatever.
Yeah, noon or midnight. Sorry, Friday. Yeah.
So, if, like, after y'all realize that it's like, oh, this isn't going to go away, you start just automatically planning for the live stream thing, or was it like
the live stream thing took a little bit.
Y'all's was.
Yeah, I mean, at first it was just
bonkers.
We just kept planning tours, you know, and then kept getting pushed back, and then. It was around like October of 2020 when I'm like, okay, clearly there's no end to this thing in sight. So, yeah, we did a live stream, and honestly, that was successful enough to basically pay out each member as if we did a tour.
Right.
Which
I feel
was
like
shocking.
A lot of bands.
It was shocking how well it did, and
people were here for it though. Like even ours, being almost nobody's. Ours did. Like, I can't believe it.
That's awesome.
You know, like I was like, we just made a year's worth of show money in a night.
Sick.
Yeah, it's wild.
Dude, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the music community really, you know, wanted to support bands, and we're very grateful for that. And so, yeah, the live stream helped a lot. And then, but yeah, I mean, I started streaming like on Twitch.
Okay.
And that helped a lot for bills. I know Mitch was like teaching lessons.
Were you doing video games or something, or?
Yeah, I was doing. At first, I was playing Fall Guys because I'm like, I wanted to stream, and I like talking to people and hanging out, but I really am not a huge fan of like the realistic shooter games.
Sure.
Just not my type of
You're
thing.
talking to a Mario guy.
Yeah,
so.
like I'm like a Nintendo guy.
If it's a cartoon, I'm great with it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a Nintendo guy at heart. and World of Warcraft, but I streamed that a couple times, and no one cares about WoW. WoW, because I think people
like
30 plus play WoW. You know, because that was popular when I was like a teenager.
Yeah, you're my brother's age, and that was his game for sure. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that game came out, man, in 05, 06. And I remember there was a guy named Benny in my high school, and he like played it 14 hours a day. And he would literally just sit in the back of class, like sleeping, like imagining the game and closing his eyes. And I was like, dude, why are your eyes closed? He was like, I need to rest them for tonight when I play WoW.
That was
his
unreal.
obsession. But like, it was people called it WoW crack because it was like literally.
Dude, it really took over. People who played it was their whole life.
Oh, dude, and that was kind of me, except thankfully I had like sports, which kind of kept me out active. But anyways, all that is to say, I like those. I like older games, and
right.
So when Fall Guys was a popular thing on Twitch, I was like, oh, this is something I can do. You got like 3 buttons. You got like grab and jump and dive, and I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I was like weirdly pretty good at it because of all my days of playing Mario with the platformers, and so I did that. And now I still stream, but now it's a lot of like, honestly, I just like talk to people, and I kind of listen. I like watching music videos. People's like someone's like, oh, check out Ethel Cain, like really interesting artist.
Just check it out right there and stream.
Yeah, like, and I'll just literally just pull it up on YouTube and just watch it
phenomenal.
on the spot. I'm not like super organized. I don't have like a list.
A release
schedule. Literally just read the comments, and if 10 people say the same artist, I'm like, okay. And so I kind of do that, and it's
That's
like
rad.
It's kind of like it's like the most unorganized, most unprofessional radio show ever, you know.
But I'm sure one, if you have some of an audience, you're introducing people to all kinds of shit, like all different new bands, or people in their own band being like, check my band out.
Oh, dude, and I do that a lot. Like we've checked out bands on stream, and then people get into it, and then that band gets like 10, 20 new fans.
That's wild.
And like it's cool. Like it's happened a few times when the band is just really cool,
undeniably good.
Yeah,
you're like, all right, this is just awesome.
Yeah, totally. And like I like all types of music. So like, and people have come on, like a rapper who came on, he's like, dude, and checked out his rap stuff, and it was cool. I'm like, great, like
that's awesome.
If it's music, I'll check it out,
Wicked.
Yeah,
that's a great way.
Even sometimes I'll end up just watching like stupid comedy videos.
Sure.
But yeah.
That's basically my YouTube feed. just dumb comedy.
Yeah, funny stuff.
Yeah.
Vines. Rest in peace to Vine.
Dude.
I feel like I'll never, like, I've like used TikTok. I've posted like a few TikToks ever, but I think I'll always protest TikTok for a few reasons. One of them, of course, is their user stuff's insane. Like, you're literally giving them access to everything on your phone, all of it.
And not just your phone.
Yeah. Like everything.
If your phone's attached to your laptop, they have your laptop too. Yeah, it's wild.
So first of all, there's that, and then second of all, I'm like just kind of like I want Vine.
I do want Vine, dude. Vine was amazing.
Vine was so much better.
I put off Vine. I'm one of those. Dude, I'm a curmudgeon for new things until I'm like, all right, damn, it's cool. I lose.
Yeah, same, bro. There is a guy the tour we did right before the pandemic. There's a guy. His name's Luya, and he was like, yo, check out my R&B, my like solo stuff. And he had like 300 followers on Spotify. Now he has hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And like he blew up over the course of the pandemic. And a lot of it was TikTok. He had a song that was like the TikTok song.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I saw him in April, March, April on our last tour we did. And he was like, bro, I love you, but you got to get on TikTok.
So everyone
you guys
says,
are like dinosaurs. You got to do it. And
I think it makes sense, though, because y'all are so good at other parts of the internet. Like y'all's Twitter feed is out of control.
It's pretty unhinged.
I don't even have Twitter, but he shows me, and I'm like, who is running this? This is wild.
It's unhinged, man.
Is it all of y'all collectively just making posts?
It's just me.
It's just you?
Yeah. When it comes to social media, I just run the band stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I would... If my bandmates are listening to this, I would love for you guys to run it, because I'm so over social media. But
same.
They are also over social media, and I get it. Like they do so much other stuff that it's just kind of like I'm the guy that does merch and social media.
Right.
They're the guys that figure out how to make us like sound good.
You're handling your part.
Do the technical music stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so you're just like, cool. I'm gonna show up.
Yeah, like I just write lyrics and write some vocal melodies.
Do you write same time, or is this one of those, y'all go in like a studio and you're just in there for a month, or do you go like do practice sessions?
We've done a mix, but I would say like the most of our songs have come from like the brain of usually Mitchell,
Yeah.
or before Mitchell, there's a guy named Spencer, and it'll come from his like the primary the
Right,
song,
right.
and then like more recently we've worked with producers,
Oh, okay.
but
That's always different.
our first couple albums there was no producer really,
Right.
just an engineer, but like we're working on an album right now with Daniel Bronstein. He does. His bands in the quote unquote scene are Dayseekers, Spirit Box, and Volumes.
Okay.
It's basically us, those three, and us are the bands that he like wants to produce full on. And so
That's awesome.
we're working on an album with him and still getting used to the whole like
Yeah.
being produced is phenomenon. But like we still mostly bring ideas. But I do think that there's some songs that kind of actually just happen in the studio with Dan. Because Dan's also like a really good guitar player, so
Right.
him and Mitch will just like both like
And you're
kind
just
of pull
feeling
up
the
and
moment. Yeah,
just
yeah,
get
yeah.
in the moment, yeah.
And then most times the ones that come in the moment are like the best ones.
Oh
You're like,
yeah, absolutely. It's
we wrote
always
it in
that
2
way,
seconds. You know, like
Yeah.
this song, we wrote it in as much time as the song is. We kind of just spilled it out of our head.
Yeah, and that's how it is so often, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Do you write during or after? Like, do you wait for like, we're getting in like, okay,
Vocal
the drum-
stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Mostly after. Usually I'm pretty spoiled, and I'll get like a pre-pro that's like
Right.
sounds pretty good. So I pretty much know like this is what the song would sound like without any vocals.
Right.
And then that allows me to really add vocals in. And then sometimes I'll add vocals in, and then they'll be like, let's change the drums to like, because we like the vocal idea, but the drums would be.
That was my
it would
next
be
question.
cooler if we change it.
Right.
So sometimes it is kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Kind of
Absolutely,
thing. Yeah.
absolutely. That's we just finished one, and being like faced with like hearing it back for the first time, and you're like, and somebody being like, hey, that's actually not that good, and you're like, and you have to kind of swallow that and go,
Oh, dude,
All right.
I so often, man, I have vocal ideas, and they're just like, yeah, that's probably not it. And it's just like, shit.
you're like, yeah, but it's cool, but like you have to like, there's something so magical in the moment that you're not. You know, some bands suffer from they made an album all in the moment, and it's just like, oh no, it's really not that as good as you thought
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
because there was no one saying no.
Dude, totally. And then there's some bands, I don't know about the new Norma Jean because they've changed members a bunch, but I know that like Norma Jean, when they did Polar Similar, that was like, Corey lives here, by the way, I think. He's
Yeah.
in Arkansas, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fort Smith.
I went to his house one time, and I was like, oh, you live in
I think
Arkansas.
the whole band. Does the whole band live
They
here
all
now?
might.
Oh, okay. So they're just the guitar players.
But I know that at least they used to. Maybe they still do. Like they'll just get in a room and just jam together. And most that's not how most bands work anymore.
Right.
Especially like it's really almost impossible to do that if you're like a technical metal band.
Right.
Because like there's just too many moving parts for people to just throw it together and for it to work. But I do think the more like raw and loose of a rock band you are,
It's
the
more
more that
allowable.
it's good to get in a room and do it in the spot.
Right.
We're just not. That's not really the DNA of Silent Planet.
No,
but,
no.
But I do know some bands like Norma Jean have done that, and I think that's really cool too.
Yeah, I think that is how they still very much write. Like they get in a room and just go, "Here's a riff I thought of 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's just play this and see what happens."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my other band writes. The other one is pretty pre-thought out. Like we have like these ideas, and we'll be like, well, it needs to sound like this, so we'll craft it. And our guitarist is one of these savant guys, and he
Yeah.
just knows everything about me. So he'll sit at a computer and just type numbers, and then out pops a song, and then we can go, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
Let's take it to the practice space and add and subtract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's kind of our band, and Mitch is kind of that savant
You
guy.
get like that digital drum, and then like he just laying
Exactly.
over a guitar
yeah,
part.
And then like Alex will be like, it'd be cooler to, Alex will basically give the opinion of an actual drummer, because guitar players. I don't know how much Mitch is, but I know guitar players will often be guilty of basically like having a drum machine do something that's physically not
Impossible,
possible.
dude. It's every band who does that.
Yeah,
thing.
right?
They're like, this like is like 7 drummers worth of material.
Yeah, it's like, I can't hit the tom and the snare and the cymbal and the kick and the hi. Yeah, yeah.
It's all at the same time, right?
Yeah. Octopus drummer.
I'm glad you think I'm amazing. Like
Yeah.
such high praise to add something that's physically impossible.
Get like a prosthetic limb and attach it to your
Just
shoulder.
like Goro,
yeah.
just Goro back there drumming.
Oh my gosh.
So how's Nashville been treating you, man? It's a city of music. Are you enjoying it, or?
Yeah, I love it. It's honestly,
Do you live like in the city part of town
I
or like
do.
on the
Yeah,
outskirts?
yeah. I live like off of Gallatin.
Oh, awesome.
It's cool, except I hear sirens all night.
Right. I'm a massive fan of Nashville.
Gallatin's crazy, man.
It is.
Like, literally, okay. So I moved from LA, and people are like, oh, you must love it. Like, you know, it must be so much more chill driving here. And I'm like, no.
No.
Red lights are optional in Nashville. I've
That's
never
just a
seen,
southern thing.
I've never seen anything like it. But I remember, like, one of the first days I moved there, I was like, whoa, that guy just ran a red light. That's crazy. And like 5 minutes later, that guy just ran a red light. And I'm like looking around, is there a tornado?
Yeah.
It's like, no, like literally, especially like dudes in trucks. Like dudes in trucks, I like, I'm not trying to get political, but it might just be some like, I'm a dude and this, I don't know what it is, but like, they just do it.
They just don't stop.
And and by the way, I need to clarify, I don't mean it's yellow, it's turning red, I'm gonna gas it.
No, it's red.
I mean like, I'm chilling at the red light and I'm like, well, you know, fuck this, I wanna go. And they gas it. And you're just like,
Oh yeah.
it's insane.
And stop signs are just suggestions here.
Dude, it is so wild. Because I always, and people are like, oh, you know, like driving, coming from California. And I'm like, dude,
I
we believe in red lights in California. Like,
Dude, I saw it literally today. I was coming up to a stoplight, and this woman passes me going 70 and a 40 and doesn't even try to stop, just goes
Oh my
through
God.
right around. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty normal.
Dude, I was at a stoplight a couple weeks ago, and a dude in a truck was behind me. The light wasn't, we'd only been there for like 10 seconds. And he pops the curb, goes up a grassy thing, and just around.
And just,
It just like, it's so funny. Like, it is so wild. Like the stuff that I see there, like, I genuinely like. It's made me a way slower driver because I'm literally
More cautious.
Like, I go through stoplights and I look both ways now, which is like insane. But like, yeah. Anyway, so,
that's a wild
besides
observation.
Besides that, I love the fireflies. Like genuinely, I know it sounds like a small thing, but I like to. I've always, for my anxiety disorder, I found it really helpful to be outside during the sunset hour.
Absolutely.
And so they come out, and I'll be on a walk, and there's fireflies, and it's just a very enchanting experience. I love that.
A southern sunset is marvelous, man. That
Dude, I love
purple and
it.
pink sky.
Yeah.
And just,
Dude, I love
clouds.
that. I like that, and I don't mean to get, like, political, but, like, you know how, like, during the pandemic, there were some states that, like, didn't really do much about
Sure.
it. And then I was living in LA. So it was like double mask. Like even if you were outdoors walking on the side of the street, people would yell at you if you had your mask on. And with that came like a sense of like otherness or like suspicion towards your neighbor that like, because I was all for it. I'm like, hey, you know, I'll wear a mask. Sure. If you want me to wear a mask, that's fine. If you want me to get vaccinated, like I'm fine with that. But I just felt like there was this dimension, and I can only speak for LA. Like I know that, you know, that San Diego and Orange County, the beach towns are more chill. But I was in like LA County proper, and like it just felt like people just got like distant in a way that was weird to me. Like
Really?
I lived in an apartment complex, and I met like 3 people all year.
Wow.
Like, and it was really isolating. And I had a dog, luckily. She passed, but I had a dog to you know, keep me sane. But like I couldn't look people in the eye. Like I was like,
man,
you
that's
know,
wild.
and I was there a couple weeks ago, and I still felt like that. And so I was just kind of like,
They're separated.
yeah, I was like, I just like moving to Nashville.
That's got to be weird too, growing up in a city, because like LA, you think of everything's about communication here. We're all trying to get somewhere or do something, and then all of a sudden it's not that way.
And all of a sudden it's just
like a culture shock.
Yeah, and you know, it is what it is. It's like, you know, I think people tend to overcorrect. You know, maybe some states to a fault were like, we're not going to do anything about it. We're just dying.
Yeah,
and then
right.
other states might have been like, we're going to do everything about it, and I'm now afraid of you. You know what I mean? And it's like humans we naturally have a tendency to overcorrect. It's hard to do
and like
moderation.
you said earlier too, you're a product of where you're at. So like, how it affects you, and you know, you might live over here in a different place, and they did it differently. It might only be 20 miles away.
Yeah.
You know, from a place that's doing it completely different. So then, if you go 20 miles away and it's slightly different there, and you're like, whoa, what is this? It's a shock to the system. You know.
Exactly.
Confusing
and I think that, you know, unfortunately, like the 2016 election just never ended, right? Like we became way more of a polarized culture than we've ever been, and it really hasn't stopped. And you just kind of have a tale of two Americas.
I've been very desensitized.
And I even get that, like, because like my license plate on my car still says California. I hope the DMV is not listening because I was supposed to change it, but I didn't because I'm a.
You're okay. You're in Arkansas, man.
I'm a lazy idiot. But like I even like.
Well,
people,
you get a year, right? Oh, you said a year and a half though.
What?
You get a whole year, don't you? You can live somewhere for
a
year
you?
without
I
changing
thought it was like 30 days. But
I don't know.
But yeah, you know, I'll like people like, oh, California, you know, like they'll kind of like be weird about
They
it.
get you.
And it's like, bro, I don't know what to say. It's the most populated state in the country. It's where I'm from.
There's
like,
40 million people there.
Yeah, like it's like if you made it a country, I read it'd be like the 5th most like highest
population.
GDP,
Yeah.
Or so, it's like it's its own world, but. That being said, yeah, you just sometimes you feel that tension, you know.
Right.
But I mean, and I love them both. Like I still love California. I don't think I could live in LA again because that isolation was too much for me.
Too much.
But if I had billions of dollars, I'd live by the beach in San Diego.
Who wouldn't, you
right?
know?
But it's cool. It's cool. The South is way more affordable for someone living off of a very, very moderate income like me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Nashville's like rising in popularity, definitely had a lot of growth.
It's crazy. It's like Nashville people are like definitely like, dude, stop coming because you know, like rent before the pandemic for Nashville people, my understanding was, you know, $700-800 or something,
right.
And now that's like $1,400.
Oh yeah, that's the same way here too.
And part of that too is economy and other factors. But yeah, it's like I do think Nashville's like just it's kind of like Austin, Texas. It's just one of those places that so many people are leaving the West Coast and the East Coast to go to.
Yeah. In droves,
yeah.
and then other people are leaving other places and going there, and blah, and vice versa.
Oh, dude! Anytime someone's like, "Oh, you know, like where are you from? What do you do?" I'm like the cliche.
Yeah.
I'm a California musician that's moving to.
Move to
like
the
I
South.
don't know what to tell you. I'm the walking cliche.
Just give it to me, get over with.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it doesn't help that I look like a California guy, probably, which I don't. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. People are like, oh man, you like talk like you're from California. It's like, I don't know. I think I had a speech impediment when I was a kid, and that's why I speak the way I do.
The way you do.
Yeah, fun fact for anyone listening. Deep cut. I had a speech impediment until 6th grade, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you beat
it. Took me a long time. Yeah, now I talk for a living, so you can do anything you set your mind to, I guess.
Absolutely, you can, and you make a living doing it.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I talk cough for a living. Sometimes that's what I explain to like, you know, elderly people. I'm like, I cough into a microphone.
That's hysterical. No, I've never heard that. I'm gonna steal that though. I'm using that.
Oh, that's always my joke. Because when I'm sick, I'm like, well, I already cough anyways. I'll just cough a little more now, right?
You got a heart out?
I might just. I have to jet in probably like 5 minutes or something. Because
we can wrap it up.
I have to set up our. It's day one of tour. I have to set up
Yes.
the back end for our merchandise thing for our merch guy. He's hitting me up like, dude, where's our items?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been amazing.
I want to say that this is by far like one of the best podcasts I've ever been on.
Seriously?
I mean that. I genuinely mean that.
Well, next time you
up
come
there
through,
with,
dude.
Shane.
Shane Told,
has one
yeah.
called Lead Singer. You have a very rare skill where it's like a conversation.
Absolutely.
It's not like an interview.
It's what it's supposed to be, right?
This is a conversation,
Yeah.
and I've loved this.
Well,
and I'm excited to hear you play tonight.
Gave me gum cry.
Seriously,
I'm a
I
sentimental
mean
man.
that. I'm
Thank
not,
you
I'm
so
not blowing
much,
smoke.
man.
I hope you include this in your segment too. 'Cause
I will.
You're very talented
Yeah, I
at
will.
this, and I'm excited to watch you all play. So you're third up tonight?
I think so.
Cool.
I think
Awesome.
so. But there was talk maybe we might go second. We're third. Okay.
Cool. Okay. I'm
hope
excited to hear
we
you.
crush it to you.
Dude, I'm so excited to hear.
It's gonna be wild.
Hey, thank you
so
for
much,
having
Garrett.
me.
I appreciate you more than you know.
Dude, thank you.
Later, y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even